In 2020, the NBA added something that would change how teams play the regular season, the play-in tournament. But is going for the play-in tournament actually worth it? Especially with how stacked next year's draft class is, with players like Victor Wembanyama, Scoot Henderson, the Thompson twins, and Brandon Miller. Like, currently out in the West, there are so many teams that are in the play-in that should be tanking, and others that are actually trying to compete and win, but can't seem to get over the play-in hump. For example, the Dallas Mavericks, who just lost to the 14th seeded Charlotte Hornets. It is not looking good for the Mavericks, and they're one of those teams that have to push for something. They have to make noise in the playoffs because of the moves they made for Kyrie Irving, which have just not planned out well. Also, in Luka Doncic's post-game press conference, he expressed that he doesn't feel the same joy on the court lately. He mentioned that there's a lot going on beyond basketball. Now, this could just mean personal stuff, but this also could mean stuff relating to Kyrie Irving. And when they first made the move for Kyrie Irving, I predicted that he would not like playing with him, simply because Luka likes it being his team, and he needs players around him that just help him get better. Obviously, he can have players around him that are good, but another star like Kyrie Irving being on the team, I just don't think will work. But then again, there are people that are overreacting so much to it, because if you look at the standings, yes, as of right now, they are outside of the play-in, but they can win 2 games and be at the top of the play-in. And if they win just a little bit more, they could actually skip the play-in and go into the playoffs. So when it comes to the Western Conference, it's kind of hard to see teams and be like, dang, they're not doing good, because it's all so close. But for the Dallas Mavericks, it is for sure worth it for them to go and push for the play-in and playoffs. Another team is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who made a lot of trades. You know, we obviously know the Rudy Gobert trade, and that trade really made people, including myself, think that they would be a top contender in the West. We thought that this team was going to dominate. Maybe not like top 3 in the West, but we thought they would not be in the play-in. That is for sure. And they're right there. They're at the 7th seed. They're currently a 500 team, being right below the 38 and 36 Warriors. So it's like, yes, they still have room to jump up. Now they have Karl Anthony Towns back. I don't think Anthony Edwards is back yet, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Anthony Edwards was still out for the last game. But as soon as Anthony Edwards comes back, we might actually see this team make some more noise, and they honestly could be one of the teams that push to be more than the play-in. They actually may secure a 6th or 5th seed. I forgot to actually say this in the video, but I do think it is worth it for the Timberwolves to make their way into the playoffs or play-in. With all the trades that they made, it wouldn't make sense for them to tank their way out. The Pelicans are a team that I'm just really concerned about. They obviously have the potential to be such a better team if they just had Zion in, and injuries are just so unfortunate. We got the news that he's going to be reevaluated soon, but having Ingram back has obviously been a huge help, with them being on a 3-game winning streak and currently just sitting tied with 3 other teams that are sitting in the play-in. These play-in games are so important. But for the Pelicans, do we think that it's worth it for them to push for the play-in? In my personal opinion, looking at these teams on here, I don't think that they need to push for this. I feel like because they have Zion out, it's one of those years, once again, where they could say, you know what, we didn't have Zion, let's run it back next year. Now, if next year fails, we will have a different conversation. We will be talking about the Pelicans in a completely different way, because Zion isn't already reliable. But if he's out for another year or an extended amount of time next year, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. And maybe they'll test him out and see what they can get for him on the market. Who knows? You're probably wondering why I haven't brought up the Lakers or the Thunder yet, and it is because they are currently in a game right now with 25 seconds left. It looks like the Lakers are going to win, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Lakers win. The Lakers pushing for the play-in, in my opinion, is important for them. With this being one of the last years they have the Anthony Davis and LeBron James combo, I don't see this lasting any longer. And also, with them not having this year's pick, it wouldn't make sense for them to be like, let's just go tank. So with the Lakers winning, they are now tied with the 7th-seeded Timberwolves that we talked about, and with the Thunder losing, they are tied with the 11th-seeded Dallas Mavericks. I have this thing with the Thunder where I think that they are a really good team, or they have the potential to be such a great team, but they are the youngest team in the NBA. They still have a lot more to learn. They still have Chet Holmgren, who's injured and will come back next year. I just feel like with what the Thunder have, though, the tools and players that they have, they can build something insane. We all saw SGA. He had his breakout year this year, even though he was still a great player a couple of years ago. Josh Giddey has been playing amazing. J-Dub is awesome. One of the best rookies in the class for sure. Dort was locking up Kawhi Leonard a couple days ago, which was absolutely insane to watch, even though Kawhi did come back and absolutely cook the living shit out of him. But either way, it's still such a good team. I think they're going to be really good. Give them 3 years to actually kind of build something here. I feel like they're still in the building mode. They're not really pushing for anything, but they are winning somehow. I don't know how. I really don't think it's worth it for the Thunder to make their way into the play-in and try to win something here when you're really still rebuilding and you have a lot of potential to do something. You don't want to really risk injury. You don't want to risk all this stuff. It could still be good, though, for your players to go in and get some experience because they're all still so young. But at the end of the day, this team needs to tank and get some more talent. The Eastern Conference is something else. We have the Brooklyn Nets that are currently the 7th seed, who are still riding off the wins that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving brought them earlier in the season, with them currently on a 5-game losing streak. This team genuinely might drop all the way out of the play-ins. I don't think it'll happen, but it is a possibility. I just wonder what the Nets are going to do. Are they really going to embrace the rebuild and maybe trade players like Claxton, or are they really just going to keep these guys here, have them just stay in a shitty organization for a while where they rebuild and try to do something? Also, I think we can all agree that the Cam Thompson Linsanity run is over. I don't think we have to talk about this anymore. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets should be in the play-in. I think that they should tank their way out and try to maybe do something in this year's draft. Try to get a player who can help your team. Maybe next year, for all we know, maybe next year they make the Nets good. Who knows? The Atlanta Hawks have been a huge disappointment in my opinion. I thought DeJounte Murray would help boost his team like crazy, but it's looking like that Eastern Conference Finals run that they had a couple years ago was just an absolute fluke. With them firing their coach, apparently Trae Young isn't that good in the locker room. All this stuff, which, yeah, I don't want to say like, oh, Trae Young's not good in the locker room, so their team is bad, because I don't know what it's like in the locker room. I'm just hearing that from outside perspectives. I think you guys can agree that it just doesn't sound good, and with them being an 8-seeded play-in team, it's just not the best look. This is a team though that I see a lot of changes happening if they don't make the play-in, or if they don't make the actual playoffs itself. So personally, I think that they should push to be in the play-in, because if they don't, we might see some huge changes to the organization. There was talk about the Raptors being a top-seeded East team this year. Pascal Siakam wanted to be one of the best players in the league. Scotty Barnes coming off a Rookie of the Year. OG Anunoby, all these great players, but man, they have been really disappointing. I still really wish that this team had Kevin Durant. I think that would be one of the most fun teams in the NBA if they did have him, but obviously that's in the past. We can't really do anything about that. This team has been really disappointing though. I am sad because I wanted the Raptors to do good this year. I was actually really cheering them on. They were kind of my second team next to the Kings, but yeah, they just haven't been good. I think it'd be good for this team to tank and try to get a decent spot in the draft, because let's be honest, a really good guard could help out the Toronto Raptors like crazy. The Ringer posted a mock draft where they said that Nick Smith Jr. would be a great pickup for them. I 100% agree. I would love to see this. So for the Toronto Raptors, yes, I think they should tank their way out of it. The Chicago Bulls, man, what a disappointing downfall from the Bulls. Although I will say, I love seeing Patrick Beverley in Chicago. I think that they should re-sign him. He should stay there for a long time. But at the end of the day, what are the Bulls really going for here? Are they trying to be the 8th seed to go up against the Bucks in the 1st seed? Or maybe the Celtics? I don't know. Because there's really not much that they can do. I think that they're just here because no other team is really making that push. The Pacers had Tyrese Halliburton out for a little bit. The Wizards, what are the Wizards doing? Yeah, so for the Bulls, I think it would be okay for them to tank their way out of it and try to get something good in the draft. I actually don't know if they have their pick though. Let me check. Okay, so the Bulls did trade their 1st round pick in the Vucevic trade. It is a protected top 4 though. It may actually be worth doing this because if you don't and you tank your way out, then your draft pick might just get absolutely stolen. So you know what? I do like this. I like this for the Bulls. I think they should push for it. Maybe give the fans a nice little show by going in the play-in, make the playoffs, and then you enter your rebuild. What do you guys think? Is your favorite team in the play-in? If so, let me know down in the comments. I respond to literally everyone. Also, be sure to like and subscribe. Click the video up on the screen if you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Later.